Welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. Today we are talking about seasonal allergies. Are you affected? You see the trees start to go in bloom and all of a sudden you're sneezing. Or they mow the corn and the soybeans down and the mold comes out and you start sneezing and the sinuses go. It just seems like there's no escape from it. Depending on what side of the country you live on, what's going in bloom at what time, it's all happening to all of us. And so we have Dr. Erika Mennerick with us today to talk about those seasonal allergies and what we can do about them. So thank you again for being with us. I appreciate it. I know you have a story lined up. You are so great at bringing me to the table every time and talking about these folks that you've been able to help. So let's talk today about your seasonal allergy patient.
Yeah, so this topic came to mind because it's September, the middle of September here in Chicago, and I saw my first soybean field being harvested as I was driving to work yesterday. So we were definitely in the thick of it. Ragweed is in bloom. The molds are coming out. The plants are starting to die off, or some of the native plants are starting to die out. So definitely the molds, the dusts, the ragweed, the hay fever season is upon us. So I had a patient several years ago. He ran a landscaping company, so worked outdoors a ton and had such terrible seasonal allergies that his sinuses were always plugged up. He'd gone through several rounds of sinus infections, but more than anything, nasal drainage and sore throat from the postnasal drip. But because he was so constantly stuffed up, you could hear it in his voice. The tone of his voice was so nasally because of the congestion he had. So the way I look at seasonal allergies, which is very different than what an allergist might do, is we look at all of the different loads that the immune system is coming into contact to. Because I can't change the fact that there's mold out there, or they're harvesting corn, or all of those things. But if I find out that there's a food that I react to, or some other substance that I'm coming into contact with that I can change, then it takes down the overall load on the immune system. So there isn't such a hairpin trigger that it just one little thing on top of it and it's going to go off.
Right.
So we're not doing prick tests. We're not looking at immediate allergies. We're looking at those things that take longer to show up, which is where a lot of these types of symptoms come from. So with this patient, we did run, I think it was a comprehensive panel, which looks at over 500 different food items, if I remember correctly. It was funny because when he came back, this guy loved to live it up on Saturday nights, and he cursed me a bit because I said, your reactive items are beef, so his steak on Saturday nights, and white potato, so steak and potato, and arsenic, which I'll get to in a second, and red grapes. So arsenic and red grapes were his red wine that he liked to enjoy with his steak and potatoes. And he was flabbergasted that this is what he was going to have to give up. But he was so miserable that he was willing to give it a try. And I said, listen, I think that you're going to feel better after a month of doing this, along with the supplements that we put him on. And sure enough, he was a good sport. He grilled other things. He enjoyed other beverages.
Oh, good for him. That is tough, though, when you get your favorites. I did a radio show with Rachel Ash at the Ash Center up in New York City last night. And I said, when you get your report back and it shows you that it's wine, coffee, and chocolate, don't kill the messenger.
That's exactly it.
It's not my fault. Yeah. You know what? I heard you once upon a time, talk about the immune system. And you kind of gave this illustration that it's the building repairman downstairs.
The what?
You were talking about the building repairman downstairs and the work order coming in.
Yeah. So I talk about, Dr. Jaffe uses the term repair deficit. And I think that that's hard to wrap your head around without something tangible. And I think of repair deficit as, when you work for a university, if there's something broken, you have to write a repair request or a service request. And I picture these service requests going to, the repairman and sitting on his desk and getting to the point that there's such a backlog that he can never get to all of them. So that's a way that we look at the immune system, that when there's so many things piled up that the body's trying to take care of, it just can't take care of it all, and something's got to give. And so then it's just trying to get rid of these problems however it can, and it's trying to put it out through the nose or through the digestive tract or through the skin, and that's where we see some of these symptoms come up.
Yeah. So let's talk about perk. I love talking about perk. What kind of perk supplements can we recommend for your Mr. Saturday Night or anybody in that position?
Well, we wanted to really build a base with him to begin with. So we started with, I needed to limit the number of pills, because he had told me, like, I'm not going to take a bunch of pills. And I said, all right, well, let me target these for what is going to give you sort of the biggest bang for your buck, or the most benefit for the number of pills. So we started with our Lifeguard multivitamin, because I wanted to make sure that he had a good nutritional base. Now, obviously, we were working on diet and making sure that he had good balance there, but to kind of use Lifeguard, as a basis for his supplements.
Right.
We use the EPA DHA and Repair Guard to help to calm down the mast cells, along with some vitamin C powder, the potent C powder. So when we talk about mast cells are the ones that when an allergen triggers them, the mast cells are what release histamine into the system and give us those allergy type symptoms. So Repair Guard, which includes quercetin and pomegranate and a few other things, that plus the potent C powder, the concentrated vitamin C, those two things together help to stabilize the mast cells, so they're not so trigger happy, so to speak. They're not going to release that histamine quite as easily. Those were the biggest strategies we used, were the multivitamin, the fish oil, because it's anti-inflammatory, with our EPA DHA, the Repair Guard, which is a natural anti-inflammatory, and then the vitamin C powder to complement those.
And you had a couple of the foundation products in there. You had the Lifeguard in there, the Potent C in there. You could even, if someone wanted to look at pH balance while you're doing that. In this situation, you didn't. This guy is not going to take 50 different pills. Let's get the most, impact as quickly as we possibly can. There are others that are willing to maybe stretch that a little bit more, or go into a program and kind of rotate through. If they're willing to do that, take a look at the first morning pH, and we could add the magnesium and the choline citrate in there. When the body is alkaline, it does magical things, right? Because the environment's not right for the other things to come in. So that's something that could be added. But, talk about the zinc lozenges. Do you ever use those for seasonal allergies? The itchy throat, the cough, that kind of thing?
Yeah, definitely. We usually stock up on them this time of year and kind of set them out at the desk, because there's more people looking for something that isn't full of chemicals and like we talked about, the additives and preservatives and things like that. So those can be very soothing to the throat. I always tell patients, you've had enough of them, that your zinc stores are full when they start to taste metallic. Because zinc plays into taste and smell, so you can bump up the zinc lozenges for several days until they start to taste like you're chewing on tinfoil. That can be soothing as a symptom relief for the postnasal drip. Great if you feel like you have a sore throat coming on, or if you are feeling like you're trying to fight off a virus this time of year, just to bump that up and help to fight things off.
And the cool thing is that all these products that you recommended or that you just mentioned can be used for the little buddies too. You get a little creative. What kind of creative things have you done for the little buddies?
Yeah, so especially with little kids with allergies, I think Perk has several options. The vitamin C powder is probably the first and foremost. If kids are drinking any sort of juice, I'll have parents dilute it by at least half water. And then we can start with even just a quarter teaspoon of vitamin C, the potent C powder, in their juice to bump up their vitamin C levels. You could put that in a smoothie if you wanted to. Repair Guard or Pain Guard with the quercetin and pomegranate. I actually have a little mortar and pestle that I will put when my kids were little and they couldn't swallow pills, I'd put it in the mortar and pestle and break it up, and I could then mix it into a smoothie or mix it into applesauce for them to get it down. Yeah. With capsules that we have, like the Digestiguard, like if we want to support the gut as a barrier to what's going on, what's coming in from the outside world, take the Digestiguard probiotic supplement and just open it up, dump it into whatever you want to put it in and mix it in. And that's a great way to get those supplements into the kids, in addition to our Lifeguard chewables with the kind of tart cherry flavor and the zinc lozenges that are also that same kind of tart cherry flavor.
Yeah, my grandsons are hardcore. When they first started taking Digestiguard, they just opened their mouths like little birds, and we'd open it up, fall in, they take a drink of water and keep going.
That's what my kids were with the vitamin D drops, that we just drip them into their mouth. Yeah. Number 2 puts Digestiguard in his mouth and just chews it and keeps going. And he even he'll pour them out himself. He'll say, "How many do I need?" And I'll say, "I'm with 2." And he'll say, "I must need 3. 3 came out." That's adorable.
Yeah. So, that's another really cool thing about the Perk family. You have stories of your own personal Perk babies, that aren't babies anymore.
No, they're big kids now, freshmen and a 7th grader. It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, my Perk babies now have their own Perk babies. So it just keeps going. And it's like that with all of us at the Perk family, where we are a family and we do look out for each other. And best of all, we take these products ourselves. We take them, we give them to our children, we give them to our parents. We spread the Perk love. And it's not something that we just get on camera and preach about or talk about. It's something that we all actually eat, drink, think, and do. It is our company motto, but it is the way we do things as well. So Dr. Erika Mennerick, thank you so much for being here. If there are patients out there that are watching in the Chicagoland area, please tell them, how can they get in contact with you? How can they book an appointment?
Yes, I am at Trillium Health and Wellness in Elburn, Illinois, in the far western suburbs. And you can find me on my website at trilliumchiro.com. It's TRILLIUM, like the flower, CHIRO.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And I know that Travis will drop those links down there in the comments for us. If you're interested as a practitioner in opening a Perk account, you'd like to take advantage of these awesome supplements that we have to offer, you'd like to maybe get some samples before you purchase those bottles, you can do that. If you are a practitioner, patients, you're going to have to call the 800 number and ask for them to help you locate someone. You call 800-525-7372, or you can go to perque.com, that's perk.com, to get more information on all of these supplements that we've been talking about today. Learn those ingredients and learn how they are nature's intended forms, which is what sets us apart from those other supplement companies. So thank you all again for being here. Thank you, Dr. Erika. I appreciate your time and all of this information and inspiration that you share with us. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Great to see you today.
All right. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.